The last iX3 was a converted X3. This 2026 iX3 shares almost nothing with it. The reset started in the wiring and the code. Every system the driver touches runs on fresh software and a new 800-volt electrical backbone. One number on that display explains why the old car had to go. Hold on to that number. The change is far bigger than it looks. BMW calls this the Neue Klasse and says its technology will spread across around 40 future models. Subscribe now and I will show you exactly what that reset took away. This is the iX350 xDrive, the first production car on BMW's entirely new Neue Klasse platform. The vertical taillights are the tell. They mirror the kidney shape at the front, and they belong to no previous BMW. Every panel was shaped to cut drag down to 0.24. On a long highway run, that is free range. The door handles sit flush and open themselves. Walk towards it in the dark and the lights wake up, front and back, an option BMW calls Iconic Glow. Inside, that same rebuild logic runs even deeper. Step inside, and the instrument binnacle has vanished. There is no hood over the steering wheel and no round iDrive dial on the console. Instead, your speed and navigation are projected onto a black band across the base of the windshield. BMW calls it Panoramic Vision. It stretches 43 inches wide, and every passenger can read their own corner. The central screen is a 17.9-inch panel angled towards the driver and shaped with 6 sides. It runs Operating System X, which was written from scratch rather than layered onto what came before. The console keeps a volume roller, a gear toggle, and a short row of hard switches. Almost every other control moved behind the glass. That one decision has already split BMW owners. The seating position is where BMW seems proudest, and the wheel is squared off top and bottom. Your speed sits just above the rim, in your eye line, so your eyes never leave the road to find it. It is a small change with large consequences. Behind all of it sits a single control unit that BMW has nicknamed the Heart of Joy. It ties the motors, brakes, steering, and recuperation together, and BMW says it thinks 10 times faster. In everyday driving, the company claims that 98% of all braking now happens through the motors alone. Here is the number I asked you to hold: 400 kilowatts. That is the peak charging rate. The old iX3 managed 150. Nothing about its 400-volt wiring could go further. 10 minutes on a fast enough charger now adds around 185 miles. 10 to 80% takes 21 minutes. That is a coffee stop, not a lunch break. American testing rates the best case at 434 miles. Model Y does 327. So here is what that reset took away. You now aim the air vents through the touchscreen, and the old iDrive dial is gone. Owners have been blunt in the comments. One compared the interface to Windows NT. Many of them just want their buttons back. The materials answer some of that. The base seats wear a gray cloth woven from recycled fiber. BMW calls it Econeer, and it feels closer to good furniture fabric than to a cheap synthetic. Leather is not standard here, and sitting in it, nothing about that reads as a saving. A thin light bar runs the width of the dash and shifts color with the drive mode. Silent, personal, efficient. Each changes the lighting, the sound, and what the screens choose to show you. It reads as design, not as decoration. In the back, the wheelbase runs to 114 inches, and adult knees clear the front seats. The floor is flat because there was never an exhaust tunnel to design around on a platform built only for batteries. That is the whole difference between a car adapted from a gas model and a car drawn around its battery from the first sketch. The old car could never hide that compromise. Its floor and proportions gave the conversion away. Behind the tailgate, the same argument repeats. 30.4 cubic feet behind the seats. That is a family vacation without a roof box. Fold the bench and that becomes 65 cubic feet, plus storage underneath. Another 2 cubic feet wait under the hood, where the charging cables live. In America, this one starts at $61,500. A Tesla Model Y Premium undercuts that by over $11,000. It also charges at 250 kilowatts. The next decade will be won on architecture, not on battery size. Every car maker now has to answer it. Next, this car measured against the Audi Q6 e-tron.